Okay, as promised, here's my video to show you how to do this worksheet that you have for your first assignment. This is basically building the foundation for your drawings that you're going to be doing. You are practicing creating hatching, which is, like I said, I didn't make this worksheet, but hatching is listed below. You're doing it above. So you're starting with the lightest, lighter, medium, darker, darkest, okay? You're going to use the pressure of your pencil to create these light, lighter, medium, darker, and darkest. So you are going to want to choose whatever pencil, let me see if I can get this, whatever pencil you have at home, let's find it. Look on the side of it, and up here it's going to say something. I know this is the one from school. It says HB Soft. So this is going to be a soft pencil, leaves behind more lead, makes a darker line. So you can use that one on the darker ends. If you didn't steal one of my pencils, then you are going to be looking around for a pencil like this. This is a number 2 pencil. It is a softer lead. It's going to be a 2B. That's a lot darker actually than the HB that we have at school. So this is going to be real soft, and you're not going to need much pressure to make the medium, the dark, and the darkest lines, okay? So look around, see if you can find a number 2 pencil. If you do happen to have some drawing pencils, you might have something that says 6H on it. You might have something that says 4H on it. See that? 4H. 4H and 6H, the H stands for hard. That is a harder lead. It's more dense. You don't have to sharpen it as often. They stay really sharp for a long time because not as much lead's coming off of it. So it draws a really, really, really light line, okay? So if you happen to have a 4H pencil laying around, then great. You can do the entire assignment with a single pencil. Think about just a mechanical pencil, any mechanical pencil you have laying around. Those leads are really thin and really tiny. This pencil says number 2 on it, but they always stay sharp. You're not going to have that big fat line. So it is going to be easy to make it lighter. Also, when you're drawing or shading, you want to kind of hold the pencil back a little further. You don't want to hold it down here like when you're doing your writing assignments. Don't be hanging on to it real tight and putting a lot of pressure on your pencil. Scooch it up. Let yourself relax a little bit. Relax your wrist a little bit. Oh, look, I have a hair tie on my hand. Let's take that off. Okay, so anyway, starting off with your lightest, and again, hatching. So the hatching goes above. Hatching is when you only do one line over and over. Okay, so I'm going to start here. I'm left-handed, so mine all tend to lean the other way. Very lightly, let me see if I can get this better for you. Very lightly, you're just going to do line after line after line in the same direction. I don't want to see you do line, line. Don't be so controlled. Like I said, loosen up and relax. Loosen up and relax, and just let those lines go in one direction, okay? Try not to overlap them too much. Just loosen your whole hand. See, I'm moving from the wrist, so just try to do that, okay? Next, it's about pressure. I know it looks like I'm really choked up on my pencil. If you need to loosen up and get that, gentler line, then, back off a little bit. But I'm used to it, so it's easier for me to have that be gentle. This is going to help you to not be able to put the pressure on there. So then the next one, you just go back and forth, back and forth. I'm lifting. So if I do it in slow motion, I lift, I go back and I draw the next line. I lift, I go back and draw the next line. I am not making a zigzag across the page, okay? And you can see I'm doing this one lighter than when I did this one because I was holding my pencil back a little further. So I need to go over it again to get that next value change. So you might just have to work your way across that block, that little square, once and twice, maybe even 3 times if you got really good at being gentle with it. So you can see where I've got the lighter, the lightest, and then the lighter. So then we're going to go, if you have a pencil to switch to and you want to just have it be easier, go ahead. You're using the same pencil, just get a little bit firmer with it. I'm lifting each time. I know it might not look like it because I'm used to it, but I'm lifting my pencil. I'm coming down, lift, back, down, lift, back, okay? So just practice getting loose with your hand about it, okay? Next, darker, more pressure, less space between the lines. Dun, dun, dun. There you go. Darker lines. This is really good for learning how to do like planes and boxes. Planes as in like a surface, like a flat surface, like being able to go in the direction of the surface, like in math, that kind of plane, not a flying plane. Okay, next one. I'm really gonna dig in. If I wanted to, I could have switched to, like I said, if you had that 2B pencil laying around from your test that you do not have to take now, congratulations, then you could try that. So here's a 2B, and see if I just did those lines right across there, okay? So you can use either one. See, I got that dark with this one. This was a 2 anyway, we checked it, and I can use this one. So I did my lightest with a 2B actually, without having a 4H to use. So that's your first one. That's your first row. See how it changes and it gets darker and darker? You don't feel like that got dark enough at the end? Go ahead and go back and just kind of fill in the blanks. Go over it a couple of times and see what happens, okay? All right, so the next one is cross hatching. The next one is cross hatching. That is below the squares again. I know, I didn't make this worksheet. I told you that already. So cross hatching is going above. Literally doing the exact same thing as hatching, but you are going back across it. So cross hatching, that's where that comes from. So hatching and then going back across it. Not drawing tic-tac-toe boards here, just going back and forth. I'm going to keep using this mechanical pencil because that's most likely what you all will find in your home somewhere. Okay, hope you're all doing good there. Not too bored. This will keep you busy for a minute. So very lightly, and you can see I just drew, maybe you can't, a bunch of lines. Okay, see, I'm lifting. They're individual lines. It's not a zigzag going across there. So please, please don't do a zigzag across there. Okay, then you're going to go back across it, and you're just going to choose a different angle. I literally just moved my hand in a different direction, and I'm doing a bunch of lines in a different direction. So this is my new lightest light for cross hatching. Okay, I'm going to do it again. You're just going to do it again. So here we go. Line, line, line. Lifting every time. And then turn my hand. And then just go back across it. Dun, dun, dun. Beautiful. You can clearly see that this is one value and this is a darker value. Okay? And then, again, increasing pressure, decreasing the space between the lines, moving your whole hand to get that nice smooth line. Oops, sorry, not paying attention to where I'm at. And then just right back across it. More pressure, less white paper showing through. That creates, look, obviously we're at 3 values. Okay, now we just keep trying to get darker and darker as we go. See how dark you can get. I'm gonna let you just figure those last 2 out so that we can get through this video. Okay, next we're gonna do stippling. Okay, stippling is one that takes forever. Some artists really stick with being stippling artists. They do the entire drawing with nothing but dots. On this worksheet, this is the closest one you know, this does not look like cross-hatching in the reproduction of this, but this does look like stippling, okay? It is not about the size of the dot. See, the dot doesn't get bigger, the dot doesn't get bigger, there's just more of them, okay? So we pack in a bunch of dots for the darkest, and we do very few dots for the lightest. It's about the black and white space, okay, or the gray and white space, because we're using pencil, not pen. Most stippling artists, pointillism artists, do use markers. They don't use pencil because it's just ridiculously time consuming. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you that you do not have to do this entire box, because you won't like me anymore, and I want you to like me still. Okay, so you're going to take a line across here. It can be closer to the top than the bottom. See, I've got a little bit more space at the bottom. You only have to do the top half, okay? Because this is time consuming, and you get the point, okay? Haha, pointillism, you get the point. So just, and hear how annoying that sound is? Somebody's going to tell you to stop doing that. Say, it's an assignment, I promise. I'm supposed to do this. Okay? So look, just some dots, okay? And then more dots, and then more dots, and then more dots, and then more dots, until you actually, like, fill the entire space. It's like a crowd forming, like we're not allowed to have right now. This is like at like some big festival with all the people at the parade or something all packed together. Just act like you're looking down on a crowd that there used to be. There's no crowds right now, are there? So get it to the place where there's not very much paper showing through, and you've got, you know, the darkest you can get. But that's why I'm saying you can draw a line across here, and you do not have to. So just progressively more and more dots, and hold it away from you and take a look at it and see if you can tell that there's a change in value on these, okay? And then the very bottom, the one that everybody's used to because you've been coloring your whole life. You do blending in this space here if you like. Okay, and you can do this over and over again. It does not have to go the whole length. It's going to feel unnatural to you. Also, we've been going from light to dark. If you go from dark to light, then it just kind of naturally happens, because if you start here and you're just kind of scribbling in one place and you're just kind of coloring, then your hand's going to naturally start to get a little bit more tired, and you're going to put less and less pressure on it. And you can go back and forth over it to get this to fade. And then you just slowly just barely touch the paper until it just fades away. So that's blending. All of these things are going to come together. This is your practice. This is your fundamentals to doing a full-on pencil drawing of something that you're just looking at. Like if you set a mug in front of you, or a ball, or a cone, or a toilet paper roll for a cylinder. That is going to be the last assignment with those white papers that I sent home. If you were unable to get your folder before we left, then just use whatever paper you have. I don't care if it's a white envelope from the junk mail. Whatever you have, you're going to draw on the back of that, okay? Send me a picture of it via my email, and email me any questions that you have, and I'll do my best to help you learn how to be a better pencil drawer through this unit that we're going to end up doing online, okay? All right, talk to you later.